All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to start off by giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And I just wanted to do a quick video and going on a little bit of a rant, or as people now will call it, a vent, right? I just want to vent off real quick, because I'm, a couple of, circumstances I wanted to comment on, man. But the first thing I want to go over, man, is I mean, shit, we're in a tough situation here, man. Especially those of us brothers, that are living over here in the States, right? Over here in America, right? That mystery Babylon. Even though we have brothers, that are scattered all throughout the world, but of course, much, sincere, love to all those brothers, who are scattered, in all these nations on earth, pushing this gospel of good news for our people, right? Much love to all those brothers out there. No matter what country you might dwell in. But those of us out here, in America, hey, we got it tough over here, man. One circumstance I was thinking about, man, is, say for an example, I mean, you can't even be a real man over here. You're not even allowed to be a real man over here in America. And what's one example of that? I'll give you a clear example. In these schools, man, which now they're teaching these children about, this LBG, QK, rather, you know what I'm talking about. Got to use code language, right? Whereas I call them these rainbows, right? These rainbows, which you know what that stands for. If you've, watched your channel, got to read between the lines, so to speak. But now they're teaching these children, just little 5, 6 years old, even, preschoolers. They're having, what is it? What is this thing called? And they're doing this not only in America, but in other countries too. What is this called? The drag queen story hour. You can look it up. Right? They're doing this even in these preschools, man. But then they'll turn around, and give these, 5, 6 years old kids, tell them about, oh, well, you might actually, be a girl, right? You might look like a boy, but you might actually be a girl, So here it is, if you're a parent and your, son comes home, and claims, hey, well, I think I'm actually a girl, right? Or if your daughter comes home and, after going through that indoctrination in school, comes home and thinks, hey, I might actually be a boy, right? You can't discipline them, right? If you were to, put a paddle, to their behind for having that, perverted view of themselves, that perverted view of reality, and for even thinking about something so ridiculous like that. I mean, shit, if they were to turn around and tell the teachers, man, you'd have a, CPS, turn up at your house the next day, to take your children from you. So it shows you, man, that you can't even be a real man and discipline your own children in this country, man. Right? Or, you get an argument with your child, and say, for example, right, these kids today, are all addicted to, these PlayStations and, little kids at like, 2, 3 years old on iPads and shit, DSs and shit, Nintendo Switches. You get the point, but here it is, if they don't do your homework, you'll tell them, hey, I'll take your, Nintendo Switch from you. Then they'll turn around and say, oh, well, if you do that, well, I'll tell my, my teacher that, that daddy hurt me, right? I'll tell him that you guys hurt me. And then, the teacher will contact the CPS and they'll show up at your house because the child lied because they were mad that you took away their, their playing device because they were on it, 24/7. So, I mean, this is a wicked and perverted society, man. And it has to be. Why? Because this is Babylon. This is that great city that was prophesied in the Holy Bible, right? To be the most abominable and perverted society that's ever been erected on the face of the earth. Right? This place severely overpassed, Egypt and Saudi Arabia and what's this other one? Oh, Sodom and Gomorrah. And I meant to say, excuse me, I meant to say Sodom and Gomorrah, but I had a slip of the tongue and said Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, over there, they still practice the ways of the East, right? We'll say for an example, if your woman is found, disobeying her man, she could get her ass beat for that, and that's just the way it is over there. But they don't take that lightly. Where it is over here in the West, right over here, if you're in an argument with your woman, and you slap her in the face, and I'm not saying that, to do this, I'm just giving, an example here. Say, hey, if you get in trouble, next time you're in an argument with your woman and you slap her and you get in trouble, hey, that's on you. That's on you. But I'm just saying, man, it's so perverted over here that here it is, you could be in a heated argument with your woman, and you're in the midst of the moment and you slap her across the face, because she punched you. I mean, shit, she could have your ass arrested for that and you get thrown under the jail. And then these people, these hypocrites turn around and talk about, equal rights, right? Equal rights. But here it is that they can hit you, but you can't hit back. And then they'll talk about the same breath. Oh, women's rights, right? Equal rights. Come on, this is unbelievable, unbelievable. This place, man. And it's frustrating. It really pisses you off, and that's in the Holy Scriptures. Right, Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression makes a wise man mad. Yeah, surely oppression makes a wise man mad. Yeah, you got every right to be pissed off. Why? Because we're in oppression. We're being oppressed. Working, $8, $10 an hour, have to get up at, 5, 6 in the morning to go make, $8, $10 an hour at your job. That's oppression right there. Meanwhile, they're printing out trillions or billions of dollars, in just a couple of days. It's unbelievable, unbelievable the amount of oppression over here. That's why the scriptures speak about, what is that? If you go to Ecclesiastes 1:18, Ecclesiastes 1:18, it says, he that increases in wisdom, he increases in much sorrow. Right, the more you know, the more depressed you'll be, because you know that, the state that the world should actually be in. Like we shouldn't have to, just deal with one woman our whole life, right? We as men shouldn't just have to deal with one woman our whole life. But that's what we have to do living over here, because this society, over here, polygamy is illegal, right? You cannot practice polygamy over here. And then the other thing is, if you're dealing with a woman, say you're with a woman 5, 7 years or whatever, and you have like a side woman that you hang out with, right? You might, stop to hang out with her after work or whatnot. And your wife finds out, right? She might see the text messages on your phone, spies on your phone when you're in the shower or something. She finds out about that. Oh man, that's your ass right there, man. I mean, oh my goodness. I've heard some real messed up stories, man. Oh man, I heard about this one story, man. I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not even gonna mention that on here, because I don't want to have to age restrict the video. But anyway, I digress. Um, some real messed up stories, man. A woman finds it out, by looking on their man's phone, right? Spying on their phone, seeing that he was talking to another woman, right? His life got destroyed. Damn, and there's too many examples of this situation happening. No, we're in such a defiled and wicked kingdom, man. It's unbelievable. So you should be pissed off. A righteous man would be mad. No, but those of us in this truth, man, we got hope, though. Why? Because we're looking beyond this place, right? We're looking beyond Babylon, which that was a lesson I did recently, right? A world beyond Babylon, and that's truly what we're looking for. We're looking for, a better place than this. We're looking for a place that's far greater than this place, man. And that's what, our Lord Yahweh Shai, has prepared for us. Right? That's the world to come. That's, some of the rewards that we're going to get, if we're part of that group that, makes it, right? Part of that group that receives that salvation, as it says in, what is that, 1 Corinthians 2:9, where it says, it says, no ear has ever heard, no eye has ever seen the things that God has prepared for those that love him, right? No ear has ever heard, no eye has ever seen the things that the Most High has prepared for his elect. No, and that's a motivational scripture there, man. No, because you can see some very beautiful, places or women, here on the earth. And to find out that the Most High has even greater than that prepared for his elect in the kingdom, that's a motivation right there. That's why King David said, if you go to, what is that, Psalms 84 verse 10, right? Psalms 84:10. Remember, King David, he was a man that had it all, right? He was the king. He was a man who had it all. Anything you could want, all your heart's desires, that man had it. And he said, Psalms, 84:10, said, hey, look, and I'm nearly paraphrasing it. He said, hey, look, I would be, pleased just to be a doorkeeper in the temple of the Lord. Again, I'm nearly paraphrasing the verse. You can read it yourself. Psalms 84:10. Right? David said, hey, I'd be pleased just to be a doorkeeper in the kingdom of heaven. And again, this was a man who had it all, right? All the wealth, all the women, right? He had it all. And he said, hey, look, I would be fine. I'd be more than happy just to be a doorkeeper in the kingdom of heaven. Right? So just imagine that, right? That's coming from a man who was, far beyond, any, wealth or luxury that me and you have, right? And he'll say that. So that's a faith booster right there, man. That's motivation right there. That even a man on that type of level could say, hey, look, even though all the goods that I have, even though all the women I have, all the, resources at my disposal, even with all of that, I'd be pleased just to be a doorkeeper in the kingdom. Man, so, that's a motivation right there. Just like it says in, what is that scripture? If you go to 2 Peter chapter 3, I want to say verse 13. And again, I'm nearly paraphrasing this because I'm on the go. But it says, we, according to his promise, look for a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwells righteousness. And that's what we're looking for, man. We're looking for this place, in this modern time, these countries that are in dominion. We're looking for these places to be done away with and for a new kingdom to be set up, which is what people would call the kingdom of heaven, which is going to have dominion over all of these countries that are on earth today. All 195 countries on earth are going to be under Christ's dominion. That's why it says, what is that, Revelation chapter 11 and verse 15. It says, the kingdoms of this world have become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Christ. Right? And he's going to have dominion over them forever. Right? All 195 countries on earth. When Christ returns, he's taking dominion over all of them. Poland, America, Russia, China, Japan, Turkey, right? All these countries, all 195 of them are going to be brought under the dominion of Christ when he returns. And they're going to have to, bend the knee. That's why it says in, what is that, Isaiah 60 and in, Revelation 21, it says that the kings of the earth are going to bring their riches and their might unto the kingdom of heaven, right? They're going to bring all of their wealth unto the kingdom, right, for the Israelites to take. So they're going to be tributaries to the nation of Israel in the world to come. And that's a whole nother thing, man, because Christ said, what is that? One of my personal favorites, right? Revelation chapter 2, verse 25 to 27, right? Said, hey, look, to him that overcomes, I'm going to give him power to reign over the nations, and he's going to rule over them with a rod of iron. Right, that's one of the rewards that God's elect are going to get. They're going to get dominion to reign over nations with a rod of iron, meaning what? Hey, they do what they're told, or they're going to get an iron scepter across the neck, or across the back, or popped over the head. That's what it means. They're going to get reigned over with essentially an iron fist, right? A scepter. right? You do what you're told or you get punished. And that's how it's going to be. Just like, when our people were in slavery, this man was without mercy, right? Our people had to be out there, working in those cotton fields, day in to day out, right? Sunrise to sunset. You'd be out there working in extreme conditions. So it's only fair, it's only just for the same to have to happen to the oppressor in the kingdom of heaven. And that's in Isaiah, the 14th chapter, starting at 1 on down, where it speaks about, they're going to take the oppressor and they're going to rule over them. And I'm nearly paraphrasing it, right? But the oppressors who had us into servitude, we're going to take them and put them into servitude. That's only righteous. That's called revenge. That's why if you go to, what is that scripture? Revelation 13:10 says, he that leads into captivity, he himself is going to be put into captivity. The man that kills with a sword, he himself has to be killed with a sword. Right, so those that lead into captivity, they themselves are going to go into captivity. It's just that simple. There's no way around it. And that's something they won't talk about in the Christian church. I mean, shit, most of these Christians can't even quote 5 verses off the top of their head, let alone 3 verses. All they know is John 3:16 and Galatians. What is that scripture? Galatians chapter 3:28. That's all that these guys know. And that's about it. Maybe Romans 2:28, 29. Other than that, they ain't no shit. For a vast majority of these, these churchgoers. But hey, man, going back to the lesson, man. Sometimes you got to let the spirit flow, if it wants to bring out certain subjects. But going back to the main, topic, man, is, we're looking beyond this place, man. We're looking beyond America. Because eventually there's going to come a righteous rulership. We're not going to have to, live in the conditions that we are in today. Like, you see these people out here, man. Everybody's face is all doom and gloom. And that's according to the prophecies. Just read, what is that, Isaiah, the 24th chapter, where it's speaking about how this place is all going to be, brought to naught, right? The storehouses are going to be closed. The windows are all going to be shut. Right? All faces are going to gather gloominess. And we see that, man. We see that. That's why, if you look at these statistics, man, the people that are, on these drugs, right? It's through the roof. The, the amount of overdoses are through the roof. It's crazy what's going on. But they want it that way. Why is that? Because Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Right, that's who has dominion over the earth right now. The wicked is the one that has dominion over the earth. Who gave them the dominion? God gave them the dominion. Right, God gave them a time period to have rule over the earth. But eventually he's going to take it back from them. Like, let me even mention something real quick. I was having a conversation with an atheist a couple of days back over on, what is this guy, Gurmania's channel? You can look him up. Me and an atheist were having a back and forth conversation. They were challenging me on, well, if there is a God that exists, why does he not, like, intervene when there's, like, these evil things happening in the world, right? Like, say, for an example, a kidnapping, right? Why would God not intervene with, somebody just riding up and stealing a child? Why would God not intervene in that? Right? Why would he just let that happen and not do nothing about it if he could, because he's God? Right? And these atheists, they think that they got you. Right? That they think that's the aha moment. He can't get around that one. But you see, here's the problem. A lot of people have a misconception about God and a misconception about the Bible. Most of these people think that God is some, white man in the sky with, long hair, floating around on clouds with, baby angels all around them. That's the mindset that these people are in, right? That's what they think about God. And, well, they believe that Jesus is God, but that's a different conversation. But they think that God wouldn't hurt a fly, right? God's all about, love, love, love. Now, why it's true that, of course, God does have love, that's certainly true. Right? Absolutely, it's true that God loves, but that's not all his emotion. God has emotions just like me and you, right? He loves, but he also hates. That's what you call an even balance, right? It's an even balance to have love and also to have hate. Right? Man was made in God's image. Just as we have the ability to love a person and to hate a person, God also has the ability to love a person or to hate a person. Right? Romans 9:13, Jacob I love, but Esau I have hated. And these Christians say that God don't hate no one. Looks like people haven't been reading their Bibles. But anyway, going back to what I was talking about, man, is this place, is given to the hands of the wicked. So we're waiting for, the Lord to intervene eventually, and bring an end to this, because eventually he's going to have to. That's why it says, what is that, Matthew 24, verse 21 and 22, it says, except those days were made short, no flesh should be saved, but for God's elect, those days they are going to be shortened. So eventually the Lord's going to intervene and bring an end to this place. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, might not be this year, but eventually that day is going to happen. Oh, and then that will bring me to something else, but I won't mention that right now. But going back to what I brought up about the atheist, they were like, well, if God's real, why don't he intervene when these things happen? And I responded and said, the answer to that question is there could be a couple ways to understand this. For an example, if you see somebody die in a horrible way, it could be that person being punished for sin that they committed in their past life. Right? Or somebody die in a certain way, somebody get a horrible injury. A reason why that couldn't be that way is because maybe that person is getting punished for something they did in their past life. So in this reincarnation, they might be getting a punishment for it. Not saying it's that way for everyone, but that could be a reason on why some of these things happen to certain people. And other reasons these things happen is the reason why God don't intervene right now is because we're not in the time where the Lord is going to step in and bring these things to naught. Right? It's not time yet for the Lord to intervene. That's why it tells you in the book of 2nd Ezra, what is that? I want to say the 4th chapter. Don't know the verse off the top of the head, but in 2nd Ezra chapter 4, there's a verse in there that says, by measure has he measured the times, and he will not move nor stir them until the said measure has been fulfilled. Right, by measure God has measured the times, and he's not going to move or stir it until the said measure has been fulfilled. So, say for an example, why God not intervene when Jerusalem was overthrown in 70 AD? Well, for one, that was a judgment on Israel. Right? That was a judgment on the Israelites who were living there. So even though, which if you look into the history of what happened, right, some of the people that the Romans caught, that were trying to flee the city, because what happened was, if you look into the history of it, is the Romans, they besieged the city. But before it, what they did is they surrounded the entire city, right? So you couldn't escape the city without being caught by the Romans. They were trying to starve the people out, right? Starve them into submission, right? Because, the people can't fight if they're, starving to death and dying of dehydration, right? They'll turn on one another. So that was a ingenious plan that they had, encamp around the city and, starve the people out. So some people tried to flee the city at night, but the Romans caught them. And what they did is, they thought that these people might be hiding, precious, jewelry or, coins inside of their stomachs, right? They swallowed it, when they left the city to hide it from the Romans. And then, eventually later, we'll pass through the system and they get it back again. Sounds like a smart idea. But then what happened was the Romans found out about this, and now what they'll do is when they capture the Jews trying to escape the city, they would oftentimes crucify them and cut them open to, to check if their stomach had any precious coins or jewelry that they swallowed. Right, so they were going through hell. The people living in Jerusalem in 70 A.D. But why did God not intervene? Because that was a judgment that He had. Right, so God has to let some of these things happen because it's not time yet to intervene because the said measure has not been fulfilled. Like, say for an example, right? You might have, certain people living their lives today who have done, some horrible things to other people. So why is that person not being judged by God today for, doing horrible things to other people? Because their judgment day hasn't came yet. Eventually they'll have to pay for it, but the day hasn't came yet. So God doesn't intervene right now today because the said measure isn't done yet. But when that day comes, then that's when He's going to, chime in and, bring judgment on him. Very easy concept to understand. Nothing, too difficult or too, deep to understand. But anyway, I just wanted to, give my stance on a couple of subjects there. I hope that video is edifying, and I'm going to say shalom.